I will show you how you can master the planche without training 7 days per week, sacrificing your job or time with family and friends, so let's go straight into it. But before going into the actual step-by-step system that I'm going to show you, I have a special gift for you, so just check this video, it's only 30 seconds. I went from tuck to full planche in less than a year, and I made such a crazy progress because I trained hard but also smart. And most people skip the second part, and this is why they are staying stuck on the same progression for months, sometimes even years. They think that just training hard and always pushing to failure every single workout is going to make them progress, but it doesn't work like that. And this is why I created my free planche guide, where I explain you the proper technique of every single progression and planche exercise, and also you're going to get a training program that you can follow step by step. So if you want to get the guide, once again it's completely free, just DM me the word progress on Instagram. I will leave the link in the description and I will send it to you. So the biggest misconception that most people have about the planche nowadays is that if you want to unlock the planche or any other elite calisthenic skill, you have to train every single day for 2 hours a day, and if you're not going to do that, it's just going to be impossible for you to get to this level. But this is just a propaganda that most pro calisthenics athletes are preaching, because they are on elite level, they are training every single day, and for them it's fine. But most likely you're just a normal person who loves calisthenics, you have a family, you have kids most likely, or you're just a busy person with job, life and so on, and you just want to get better at calisthenics without sacrificing your whole life for it. And luckily for you, in this video I'm going to show you the system that I am following and all of my clients are following, which allows them to make the progress that they want without sacrificing all of these things and still getting the results that they actually want. So you need to understand that in order to unlock the planche as fast as possible and just make progress in calisthenics in general consistently, you can't just train randomly, okay? You need to follow a system which is proven to work and apply it to your personal case and level, and follow the plan consistently while making adjustments when it's needed. And in this video I'm going to show you how I train and basically how all of my clients train, so that we can take this system and apply it to your personal case and make the same progress as we do. So in terms of the workout structure, we are training 3 times per week, full body workouts, and in this video I'm going to focus on the planche exercises. But if you're training other skills like front lever, muscle ups and so on, you can combine them with planche. But since this video it's mostly about the planche, I'm going to focus on that. So 3 different workouts with 3 different purposes, because you can't just have 3 super intense workouts per week and expect to make progress, because you're just going to burn yourself out. So let's start with the first workout, which is going to be the most intense workout. Okay, this is the most important one, the hardest one, and this is the most intense workout in terms of progression, exercises, sets and so on. The first exercise that we are going to start with is going to be the hardest progression that we can hold of the planche from 3 seconds to 6 seconds. Okay, so we are trying to bridge the gap and go to the next progression and unlock the next progression. For example, if you can hold normal planche tuck for 10 to 15 seconds, the next progression is going to be planche 70 degrees tuck, and this is what we are going to do in the first exercise of the first workout. And we are going to do approximately 3 to 5 sets. Again, it really depends on your level now, and as I said, it's very personal, because one workout structure is not going to work in the same way for everyone. So this is the first exercise. The second one is still a planche progression. We are still working on holds, but it's going to be a lighter progression, and here we are actually focusing more on gaining time under tension, so longer holds, approximately from 6 to 12 seconds, working on the technique and on the right activations. So this is for the second exercise. The third exercise is going to be a dynamic planche exercise. So it could be a straight arm dynamic or bent arm dynamic. So again, it really depends on your struggles and on your level now. For example, if you're lacking straight arm strength, it makes more sense to add a straight arm exercise here. For example, it's going to be planche lean presses or handstand. If you're good with the handstands, you can do handstand to tuck planche negatives, something like that. A straight arm dynamic exercise, which is going to be very specific for the planche, and we're going to do a few sets of these, and it still should be pretty intense, because this is the most intense day. So we do 2 to 3 sets of that for the third one. And the last exercise is going to be a conditioning exercise for the planche. For example, it can be planche lean, retraction, protraction, elevation or depression of the shoulders. This is an exercise which is pretty easy, it's not fatiguing, and it's just a bonus exercise to understand the technique of the planche even better and to practice it without, getting fatigued. And now let's summarize everything for the first workout. So first of all, it's the most important one and is the most intense one, because this is where we're moving to the next progression. We're pushing as hard as we can, we're getting stronger, and we're actually getting closer to the planche. We are still working on the technique of the planche with easier progressions. We have also one dynamic exercise, once again based on your needs and based on the struggles that you have. And we are finishing the workout with some conditioning. It still might be planche technique work, or some core conditioning, or any other type of exercise that you would choose based on your level now and on your goals. And now let's move to the second one. The second workout is focused more on dynamic exercises and actually gaining volume in the planche in different movement patterns. So in push-ups, in presses, and also in holds. We are also going to do holds. It's going to be still the first exercise because it's the most specific one to the planche, and it's the most important thing that is actually going to get us closer to the full planche, which is the end goal. And the point here is we have two options. You can either do an easier progression. So if in this case planche tuck is the easier progression, you can just do planche tuck for longer holds for more volume, or you can do the 70-degree tuck with a light bend, and it's again going to be for longer, and it's going to be less intense than on the first workout. So this is what we do for the first exercise. And then the second and the third exercise are going to be dynamics. So it's going to be some kind of pushing pattern, bent arm dynamic exercise for the planche. It could be planche tuck push-ups, it could be planche lean push-ups. Again, it really depends on what you can do now and what is your level. And then the second exercise is going to be a straight arm dynamic if the first one is a bent arm dynamic. In this case, again, we can do planche lean presses, we can do tuck planche presses with a light bend, because most likely if tuck planche is the easier progression that you hold, most likely you're not going to be able to do a tuck planche press. So we can do planche lean presses because it's still going to be very specific to the planche. You're still training your bent arm strength, and this is going to help you a lot for gaining strength in the planche, in any other progression. And again, we are going to finish the workout with some conditioning for the planche. It could be even bicep curls, if you have some joint pain from training the planche, you can work on that, some isolation work, or again core work, or anything else that you would like to focus on except the planche. It's very personal, but we again focus with some conditioning. So let's summarize again. The second workout is focused more on volume. We are still working on holds in the first exercise, either on the harder progression with a light bend, or on the progression that we can comfortably hold now for longer seconds. The next two exercises are going to be a straight arm exercise and a bent arm exercise, or vice versa, depends on which one is your higher priority. We are ending the workout again with some conditioning, and it could be isolation work, it could be planche technique work, or something else. And we are moving to the third workout, which is going to be very different for every person, because most likely you have other goals too. Except the planche, you have also other skills that are your second priority, that you also would like to learn, like handstand push-ups, 90-degree handstand push-ups, and so on. And this workout is going to be kinda different. In the beginning, we can still, if you really wanna focus on the planche on 100%, we can start with some light holds for the planche, or some technique work for the planche, some conditioning exercises and working on your weaknesses, and some technique, technique aspects that you don't really understand. For example, how to engage your core properly, how to have a proper depression, protraction, and stuff like that. So the first exercise is going to be still focused on the planche. Then we are moving to the second exercise, which is going to be most likely the second skill that you're trying to learn. As I said, it might be handstand push-ups, it might be 90-degree push-ups, or something else. And remember, as I told you in the beginning, you can still add pulling exercise, because we are not doing only 3 push workouts, we are doing push and pull on every single workout. So you're also going to work on some pulling goals that you have set for yourself. So the second exercise is going to be focused on the second priority skill that you have. And the third exercise is also going to be very personal. It could be, for example, just basics, some hypertrophy work, some accessories, like just normal dips, normal push-ups, or even weighted calisthenics if you're training also weighted calisthenics, if you want to build some more muscle mass, if you want to focus on raw strength, and you just enjoy doing weighted calisthenics. This is the workout where we can focus on that. Once again, without exaggerating, without going too hard, just doing some like 2 to 3 sets of that, some accessories. You can also add some isolation work, again biceps or chest work or triceps, whatever goals you have for hypertrophy and for building your physique. And basically this is the 3 days plan that all of my clients are following, and I am adjusting this structure for every single person, because as I said, the structure is one, the idea is one, but the exercises, the sets, the technique, and everything is going to be different for every person, because every person is on a different level with different weaknesses, different strong points, and the structure is one, but the plan is going to be different for every person. And there are so many other things that you need to take care of. Instead of just having this structure, you also need to know what should be the proper technique, when is the time to move to the next progression, how to use bed form effectively when you're moving to a new progression, when to use a light band, when not to use a light band, when to do a dynamic exercise, when to do a hold. Like, there is a lot of other stuff that you need to take care of and make sure that you're doing right, except just having the right workout structure. And once you combine all of that into a plan which is guaranteed to work, and to do everything right, this is when the actual progress happens. So if you're a busy person, if you're tired of just watching YouTube videos every single day, trying new stuff, experimenting and see which one is going to work, which one is not going to work, and it turns out that you're staying on the same place for months, sometimes more than months. And if you just want to do everything right from the beginning without wasting time, and to know that, okay, I have the right plan, I have a person besides me, a coach who is going to tell me how to follow this plan, when to update the plan, how to do everything with the right form, and so on. You can apply for my one-on-one coaching. It's the first link in the description. And if you're serious about it and you want to save time and master calisthenics without sacrificing your whole life for that, you can apply for my coaching. I'm going to reach out to you and we are going to see if we are a good fit for each other. But keep in mind that this is only for the serious people, and if you're actually ready to put in the work, but you need accountability and you need to have this plan that you can actually follow, which is guaranteed to get you the results, then this is for you. And basically that was it for today's video. Take action, train hard and smart to make progress, expect redemption, and see you in the next one.